So question A says -2/3. I can read this as -2/3. How do we turn a fraction into a decimal? Divide. So in the first one, we're taking -2 because the negative sign is with the numerator, and we're dividing it by a positive, right? What's a negative divided by a positive? Negative. Okay. 2, if you're just looking at the numerical part, 2 divided by 3 is 0.6 repeating. Okay, remember you put this line above the decimal that repeats, the digit that repeats. So -2 divided by +3 is -0.6 repeating. Yeah, so for B, what's the numerator? Positive or negative? Positive is the numerator. What's the denominator? A positive and a negative is a negative. And what's 2 divided by 3? 0.6 repeating. So far these two are the same. Now, you'll notice sometimes in your textbooks, you'll see the negative in line with the fraction line, right? This is similar to powers. This indicates that this number here, this number is going to be a negative number. So I'm going to apply the negative sign, okay? It's saying that the whole fraction is negative. Well, what's 2 divided by 3? 0.6 repeating. But this indicates that your answer is negative. It does not mean, look here, this is important. It does not mean that this is -2 over -3, right? Why can't it be a -2 over a -3? Yes?
Because negative divided by a negative is a positive.
Yes, a negative divided by a negative is a positive. So this is actually different than these questions, okay? This negative in front of it just means that your answer is going to be negative. It's a negative fraction, okay? So I can have -2 over +3. I can have +2 over -3, or I can just have the negative in front of it. That doesn't mean that this negative applies to both of them, okay? Because a -2 divided by -3 would be positive 0.6 repeating, right? Okay, so let's do F first. What's 3 divided by 2?
1.5.
1.5. What's a negative divided by a negative?
Positive.
Positive. 3 divided by 2? 1.5. What's a positive divided by a negative?
Negative.
Can someone give me an answer, a fraction that would also equal -1.5 that's different from that one? How else could I rewrite this to get -1.5? Yep. Michael?
-6/4.
Okay, -6 over +4, or we could have written -3 over +2. I could have flipped those around. Good. So in these two examples, okay, the question is asking to say if -1 3/10 is greater than or less than -1 4/10. Now again, this negative means that whatever your number is, whatever you turn this into, you could turn this into an improper fraction, you could turn this into a decimal. You guys are going to figure out how to do this. The negative in front of it means that your answer should be what? Negative.
So it's not, the whole number is not a negative?
Yes, your answer is negative. So it's -1 3/10. So rewrite 1 3/10 as a decimal or as an improper fraction. So what do you guys want to do first? Let's do improper fraction, okay? How would you turn 1 3/10 into an improper fraction? 10 times 1 plus 3.
I was saying negative 10 over 10 right there.
10 plus 1 is what?
11.
10 times 1. 10 times 1 is,
10.
and 10 plus 3 is,
13.
okay, common mistake is they did this in semester 1. They thought that it was 10 times -1. No, just do the numerical part first. Leave the negative outside of this. Imagine that there's brackets here, okay? So it's 13 over 10, but because there was a negative there, it means that the whole thing is negative. So I can write this as -13 over 10. I can write this as -13 over +10, or we can write this as 13 over -10. It's just indicating that your number is negative. Okay, does that make sense? It's not 10 times negative 1 plus 3, because you're going to get a completely different answer, right? What's 10 times negative 1? Negative 10. What's negative 10 plus 3?
7.
Negative 7. It's not negative 7. It's 13 over 10. So if we turn this into a decimal, it would be, what's negative 1.3. Think about it. Look here. Negative 1.3 is the same as negative 1 and 3/10. 0.3 means 3/10, right? Okay, so these represent the exact same thing. So you guys do the next one, negative 1 and 4/10. Why is it positive? Negative 14 over 10, right? 10 times 1 is 10, plus 4 is 14, but we know that the answer is a negative because it's telling us that this whole number is negative. What's negative 14 divided by 10?
1.4.
Negative 1.4. Okay, so I have my two solutions as decimals. So this is negative 1.3 and this is negative 1.4. You will have a question like this on your test to say which one's greater than or less than. If you want to turn them into decimals, you can, like I just showed you. Or you could have left it as an improper fraction. Whatever's easier for you to figure out which number is greater than or less than. So is negative 1.3 greater than or less than negative 1.4? Think about it. So negative 1.3 is greater than negative 1.4. So, okay, how would you write this? So 0.35 means 35 hundredths, correct?
Yeah.
There's two decimal places, so this is the tenths and this is the hundredths. But where can I put the negative sign? I can write it three ways. We just talked about this. I can write it in front of the whole thing, or I can write it with the numerator, or I can write it with the denominator. Can I write it like this?
No.
Because that becomes positive, but your number is negative. Okay? Write that in lowest terms and tell me what you get. Yep. So the answer in lowest terms would be negative 7 over 20. That's what you got? Good. Okay, question B, 4.625. How would we write this as a fraction? Right? Think about it. Okay, so you got 4 wholes. Good.
And then 625
625 out of?
out of 1,000.
Good. 1,000. There's 3 decimal places, so 3 zeros. And this number was positive. I'm looking for the answer in lowest terms.
4 over
Michaela?
4, 5 over 8.
What? Sorry? 4 and 5/8. Is that what everyone else got? Okay, this is correct. Thank you, Jacob.
Made with Doodlecast Pro.